welcome to this video. Thank you so much for clicking. Today we're going to be talking about how I send my packages for maximum $5, including shipping materials and the cost to ship it. I'm so excited to share this with you guys today because I kind of just figured this out one day. My hair looks really crazy, but this isn't a hair channel, this is an art channel. I'm not a professional. I've been just trying really hard to learn how to braid in lockdown. That's been like my goal, is to get really good at braiding, so it's messy. It has like 20 bobby pins in it. The story on how I first figured this out was I used to go to the post office, and these are my basic bubble mailers that I send. It was like $12 just to send this within Canada, within Ontario, my own province and country. And so imagine how much this would cost to send to the States or across seas. So I just thought that was ridiculous. So I went to send a bigger package that was probably like a decent size, and it was also around $12. So I was like, this seems weird. Is it like after a certain amount of weight or size, do you get charged a certain amount? I don't know, but I just thought $12 for this little thing here is a little ridiculous. I'm just gonna cover the address. I thought to myself, isn't this thin enough to go through a mail slot? Like, could I send it that way? So I went to my local post office and I asked them if I just put a stamp. Here, I'll cover the address again. If I just put a stamp on the top, can I just put it in a mail slot, and would that work? That's what I've been doing ever since. So basically, I'm just gonna get into the tutorial of how I ship and package everything, and then I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions at the end, because I know that when you first click on a video, you just want to see how it's done. You don't want to listen to someone talk forever. So let's get into the voiceover, and then I will answer some frequently asked questions and explain a little bit more about what I do. Some disclaimers, let's get into them. First of all, this is for small items. If you don't have a smaller item to ship, this doesn't apply to you. Also, this is just how I do things. I'm not saying this is the right way or the way you must do it. I just want to share my experiences with you guys and what I do, and to try and help you guys save a little bit of time and money. Number 3, I don't know how shipping works in every single country. This works where I live, so make sure that this is an option for you depending on where you live, okay? Okay. Now let's get into everything step by step on how I package up my orders. These are my thank you cards. I custom make them on Vistaprint, and I think they're so cute. I love including handwritten notes with all of my orders. So after I write a little thank you note, I put it in these white envelopes. This says, thank you for supporting my small business, and I just put that there, and then I usually write thank you or their name on the front of the envelope. And then I cut up a little bit of tissue paper. I just get this at my local dollar store, and I was packaging up a cat tag for my friend Courtney, and her cat's name is Lilo. I think it's so cute, and I love how all my cat tags are turning out so far. So I just kind of wrap that up in the tissue paper so it's nice and aesthetic, and everything is of course pink because that's my favorite color. And then I take these handmade with love stickers and put them on each order. I found these little bags from a long time ago when I first started my business, and they don't really match the aesthetic, but I figured it's better than wasting them. And I also have a business card, and of course my bubble mailer. I put all of that in there, and this is still small enough to go through a mail slot and be sent this way. Also, I change up my shipping methods all the time, so who knows, this could be changed in the near future, but you never know. This is what I've been doing for the last little while. Then I write out my PO box, and as well as the address of the person it's going to, and I just tape that on so it's nice and secure. There's my PO box, which is the return address, the stamp, and of course the person's address it's going to goes in the middle. This particular order is going to somewhere in Canada, so I just use a Canadian stamp, and here are my international and USA stamps. And there we have it. I put another thank you for supporting my small business sticker on the back. This is for a bigger order. This can also be sent this way. I've sent many wall hangings with this method before, so I just thought I would show you kind of packaging it up. I put one of those little suction cup things in with my wall hanging and sent that. Let's get into some of the positives and negatives of the way that I ship, and let's get into some frequently asked questions. So something I get a lot is, how many stamps do I need to use? Just one. It doesn't matter if you're sending 2 items or 4 items in that little bubble mailer like this. Just one stamp. Stamps would be different because for some of you, Canada would be considered international. You know what I mean? Like, I do use international stamps for me if I'm shipping to like Europe or somewhere really far away. Outside of North America, I would use an international stamp. Huge positive, in my opinion, is not having to wait in post office lines. I literally walk to the end of my street to my mailbox and I slip it in the mail slot and I'm done. There's nothing else I need to do. And I just think that it's such a great way to not wait in lines and not have to fill out customs forms. Those take forever. Usually I do it on my phone. All the sender's information, all the information about where it's going, you have to write how much your package is valued at, and then I put that all together and get a little barcode. I bring the barcode to the post office and they scan it. It's free, but it's still just like really tedious to fill out a customs form. And if you send it this way, you don't have to do that. You literally just put your stamp on and put it in the mail. I've shipped stuff all over. I've shipped a ton to America, and I've shipped to like Paris, India, a lot of different places, and this was all I did and it worked out perfectly fine. Everybody got their order. The only time something has been returned to me wasn't for anything I've sent in these bubble mailers. It was for something else that I packaged up, and the post office lady actually was the one that put the stamp on, and I was like, are you sure that that can be sent with just a stamp? Like, it looks a little bit big. It looks like it should be a package with like a shipping label. And she was like, no, it's fine. And then it ended up getting sent back to me for being too large. As long as it can fit in those mail slots and it's not like super thick or heavy or anything like that, it should work. And I showed you guys a couple different things I packaged up. All of that will arrive safely. I have sent hundreds and hundreds of orders this way. Is this safe? Is my item going to arrive safely? And the answer is yes. I have never had anything arrive damaged, and if it did arrive damaged, it was because of like my own error. So I've had like a couple pop sockets break, and I've also had some keychains arrived damaged back when I was not pre-drilling and I was just using the eye pins, and it ripped through before it even got to the sender, but it wasn't like it broke because of the way it was sent. A ton of my keychains just broke that way anyways. So no, I've never had anything arrive damaged. I've sent like wall hangings, Ouija board hangings, like I've sent so many things like this, and I've never had anything arrive damaged because it is a bubble mailer, right? So there's some bubble wrap inside here, and yeah, it's perfectly fine. I've never had an issue with that, although of course it is the post office and there are errors sometimes that are out of our control, but no. And these are pretty water resistant as well, so I've never had anything arrived like wet or damaged. If you've been watching my channel for a while or you've seen my old videos, you know that I used to send things in just like legit envelopes, like a white envelope, and that worked as well, but I just wanted something a little bit more aesthetic. That's why I ended up getting these. I think that the letters were great when I was first starting out and I was just sending stuff to like friends and family, but now I just think that this is so much cuter and it really gives the small business vibe. I did some math this morning about how much I really do spend per order. Should I have done that before? Of course, but I just enjoy what I do so much that I don't really ever calculate like cost of materials and stuff, but now I'm really trying to be a smarter businesswoman, and now I'm starting to do that. So any materials that I use from Amazon will be linked in the description below if you're interested in buying like the same certain things. Bubble mailers are $23 for 50 bubble mailers, and then I added up the tissue paper. I don't usually use an entire sheet for each order, just depends on what I'm shipping. The thank you stickers and the handmade with love stickers are super cheap. I paid $13.99 for 600 stickers, so that's very cheap for each individual sticker. And then I also have these Meg Dion Art thank you cards that I love so much. I just think they're gorgeous and such a nice touch, and they make everything look really professional. And I'm such a firm believer in handwritten thank you notes because I think it makes the customer feel so special, and like because they are special, like I understand that people are spending their own personal money on me, and I want to show my appreciation for that, and they're helping me stay afloat in life right now because this is my only income. So handwritten notes are really important to me. They are quite expensive though. It was $76 for 60, so quite pricey. They are from Vistaprint, and I love Vistaprint personally, so yes, that equals about $1.30 per thank you card. And the envelopes that they come with are free. The stamps that I get, so the Canadian stamps, I googled it, it's around like a little under $1, like 90 cents for a Canadian stamp, I believe. The US stamps are $1.30 and the international stamps are $2.70. Business cards were $36 for 500, which equals about less than a cent. So anyways, for some of the numbers, I'm not going to go into every single one, but that's the basics. So if I were to go for an international order and include all my shipping materials, I'm paying about $5 to ship internationally. It'll be even less for a Canadian or United States order because of the stamp. I knew this was going to happen. My camera's dying. One sec, guys. All right, now let's talk about some of the downsides about using this shipping method, which is the first and very obvious one, no tracking. No tracking isn't the greatest, but once you start paying for tracking on packages, it's usually pretty pricey. That's when you start getting up into the like $12 range, and tracking is when you have shipping labels. Like, you do not get tracking on something that has a stamp on it. That is a downside. If tracking is really, really important to you, I would recommend not doing this method. But I did a poll on my story, and I've talked to some customers, and I'm like, would you rather pay no shipping and have no tracking, or would you rather pay $12 shipping on a $20 item and have the tracking? Because I know personally as a customer, I would just rather no tracking. I don't really go that often and look at where my packages are. Another thing the post office here told me is that once you live in Toronto, right? So I'm pretty close to the States. I'm not that far from the border. And they said that if you get tracking on an item to the States, that once it gets to the border, the tracking stops. Like, it's only tracked within the country. So I think if I were to send something out west, I could track it all through Canada. But once it got to the States, like, there's no more tracking. That's what they told me. I don't know if that's true. Let me know if that's true or not. But I was like, what's the point of paying all this tracking if it's only gonna like be tracked until the border, which I pretty much live at anyways. So like, I just didn't think there was a point in that. Because I'm sending a lot of things like keychains that are $24, including shipping. So let's say it's a $20 item and the extra $4 is for the shipping. So a $20 item, you don't want to pay $12 shipping or $20 shipping, because $12 would probably just be within Canada. So if I was sending to like, I know I've sent some things to Miami and stuff, it's like $20 shipping. Like, I don't want to pay that on a $20 item. Pay for the either half the cost of the item or the full cost of the item just in shipping. So that's why I do it this way, because I just think that that way people are just basically paying for the item and like a couple dollars of the shipping. You know what I mean? So that is why I like this method a lot better. So basically you're probably wondering, well, what do I do if the package never reaches the sender? It almost always gets sent back to me, because if I cover this address here, I put my return address, which is a P.O. box, at the top. I've had so many people in my past videos being like, oh my god, you revealed somebody's address. I'm like, it's my address, and it's a P.O. box. It's not an address. I would never put my own home address on the top of a bubble mailer, especially because I'm sending to people that I don't know and I've never met. So yes, get a P.O. box for sure. So if there's an issue with the package, for example, if it happens to be too heavy or too big, they will just send it back to my P.O. box with a note saying like, hey, send this, you owe $12.65 or something if it doesn't work. But I've never had that happen with a bubble mailer. It only happened with something else I was packaging up, which was just a little bit too big, like I explained. So yeah, that's I think I've maybe had one or two things get absolutely like lost in the mail, like there's no trace. Where do things go when they get lost in the mail? I wonder. But yeah, that's only happened to me maybe once or twice. So basically when you ship an item on Etsy, it gives the buyer kind of like an estimate of when it'll arrive. So if it's been maybe like a week after that arrival time, it's safe to assume, and I don't see it in my P.O. box because it didn't get sent back, it's safe to assume it probably got lost in the mail, and then I replace it for free. Or if the item happens to arrive damaged, I just get someone to send me a photo of it, and then I send them a new item for free. One of the best things to do if there are shipping issues is just communicate with the customer. I don't like the word customer, but like, you know what I mean. Communicate with the person who's bought from you. If there's a shipping delay, if something's happened, if something ends up at your P.O. box, just let them know. People are generally super understanding as long as you communicate with them. The other downside is that I obviously very clearly handwrite my own labels. Some of you may not want to do that. With shipping labels, you can just print them out directly from Etsy or get them printed at the post office. A downside, but I personally don't really mind it. It only takes me 2 seconds to write them out, and I just don't mind it. So I can understand why that would be a downside for some people as well. So yeah, that is how I ship my orders. I hope I covered everything in this video and let you guys in on this little hack I figured out one day. If you end up using this method, please do let me know, because I want to know that there are people out there that are saving money just like me and not spending twice the amount to send the tiniest little thing. Overall, I just love this method so much. It's super easy, no post office lines, no customs forms. I just walk to the end of my street and send it. It's super quick for the customer as well because I don't have to like go to the post office and wait in line, make sure I can get to the post office that day, stuff like that. This is just super simple. Even if I'm gonna walk my dog, I can just go throw it in the mailbox really quick, you know? It's like very accessible and easy, very cost efficient. So if you liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to me at MegDionArt on Instagram. I'm pretty active on there. I also have a resin art community Facebook page. It's called Meg's Resin Art Community. All of that will be linked below. I have a podcast with my mom called Dion Girls, which is really fun and I love working on that. So all of that stuff will be linked below. Yes, please let me know if you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to share more of my hacks and things I've learned with you guys, whether it's business-wise or art-wise. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!